Nope, we're live. We are live. I can see us. The one with the dragons.
Wow.
Not so immersed. I can be Laura. I know how to play a sorcerer, right? Fireball. Not firebolt, but fireball. I would love to give you a recap. So last time on Rise of Tiamat, so the Belladonnas started off. We were in that chamber where we had fought the Mosaic Chimera, and it had already gone down into the floor. But we spent some time looking around the room now that there wasn't a big fuck you creature attacking us. And I looked at the tile on the floor, and it was a picture of this knight with this really cool sword that I determined was a sun sword, which is basically a lightsaber. And I cried that I couldn't have it. And then we went around and checked the other doors, and there were 3 ways out. One of the doors was marked safe with chalk, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like really too easy. And then there was another door that was like copper, and it had like weird encrusted shit on it, but the doors were bulging out, so it was like clearly a trap. And then the other one was a hallway that went down for a really long time. So our first stop, we went into the safe room because Leo was just like, I don't know, it just seems so good. It just seems so safe. We checked it for traps. There weren't any traps. So we got in there, and it was like a room with a well that had these weird mushrooms in it that smelled weird and tasted like liver and would like make the water look like blood, which is very like Exorcist. Cool. And then there were sleeping rolls in there. So clearly the group that had been in there was like staying in there using this as a safe room. And then there was like a weird water funneling system that connected to somewhere else, which we found out later what that was. And then we're like, oh, this room is boring, lame. And then so we walked back out, and then we went down the hallway, and it was a slight downward incline. And Odella got by a giant fuck you like skeleton ball is the best way I can describe that. So it was really pointy and nasty, and it hurt her. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I guess I shouldn't be in the front all the time. And then I got a weird message from Diderius because he's speaking to my brain. And he's like, the only way forward is to display the humility of Mistral. And then I knew a weird gesture where you like bow your head and hold your arms out like a lantern. So for the entire rest of the dungeon, Leo is just entering rooms like this. And I felt like an idiot, but apparently it was a good thing. I don't know. And
Nothing
we got
bad happened to us. So
yeah, so I guess Leo's gonna keep doing that. And this room was like, it had a weird incense smell in it, and then there was a door that led out, and then there was like a weird shaft of sunlight in there that we couldn't fit through, so we're like, fuck it. We went through the door, and then we got to the room with that guy who was a big statue, and he was sitting on like a cloud throne and had a bunch of treasure around him. And he was like, oh, if you want to leave or whatever, you have to leave me treasure. And he just kept saying that on repeat, like some kind of horrible animatronic whatever. And so I left my slightly used pair of silk boxers from Sir Egan, so a token. And what did you leave, Odella?
I left a
book, right?
Book? No, I left books in the library. I did leave the Abyssal book because I had finished reading it.
Yeah, so we went through there, and then we're like, cool, can we leave now? And he didn't say anything, so we're like, I guess we can. And then so we went into another door, and it turns out this was like a ransacked library, and we met this ghost named Ilda who was like super fucking sad. She's like, oh, I'm dead, and I was supposed to protect the library, but then a guy stole a book, and Diderius killed me on accident. Whoa. And we're like, that's so sad. And then Leo swore valiantly that he would bring back the books for her so she could rest in peace. And she's like, oh my God, thanks. And then she told us some secret stuff about like the divination pool that we're in here to find. And she's like, ooh, it's gotten really evil and shit over time. So like it probably demands like human sacrifices and all this horrible, awful things because the Yuan-ti have been using it. Apparently they're here too. And so we're like, oh, cool, thanks. And then we left. And then there were a set of stairs in the statue room that we went up. And then there were fucking bearded devils, 5 bearded devils just sitting there, like drinking and playing cards. And then Katie's like, oh, I'm a tiefling. And then was speaking to them. And Leo was like having an aneurysm because they're devils and they're evil as hell. But she talked to them, and I mean, Leah didn't understand what was happening, but they were basically saying that they worked for Verum, and they were the only ones who were left because the cultists all died because they were idiots, and they were supposed to guard this room and not let anybody come back from the room in there that led to a treasure room. So we're like, that's fine, we won't go there. And then so we went the other way, and then we came into a room that had a big nasty pool on one side, and there were like signs of somebody fighting or whatever. There were like a dead cultist that was stabbed with this weird ritual dagger, and we're like, oh, that's weird. And then we saw that the siphon thing connected to that first room with the well, and we're like, oh yay, architecture, and then we went through the set of double doors, and I got another message from Diderius being like, be respectful. And I was like, okay. So I kept walking like this, and then we got in there, and it was the room with the sarcophagus and all these weird plaster images with pictures of lost gods. And we're like, okay. And then all of a sudden he's talking to us from the box, and he's like, oh man, they took Verum, go through the dark portal of evil. And we're like, that sounds awesome. So we went through, and we went through like it was like a weird elevator thing, and there are a bunch of lizard folk, because apparently there are lizard folk here too, and we definitely murdered them real easy. They were chumps. And then we went to this room that had it was like a chasm, and then there was a mossy shitty bridge over it, and Leo did a cool fucking backflip slide surf move down a hall and kicked some more lizard folk in the face. And then there was a couple Yuan-ti guards with them, and then we killed them, and that was the game. All right. Sorry, I was talking fast, so you wouldn't notice.
Good. There we go. That's all fixed now. Sorry, folks. Anyway, that should fix it. So, like I was saying, all of the secrets of life for the internet. But anyway, as you guys just saw, I deleted off those Yuan-ti and the lizard folk, and that's where we're picking up, right here in this hallway. So,
we're gonna kill more.
Where would you guys like to go? You can see, I think Leo can see from your dark vision there, aided by your
my night goggles,
that the hallway continues straight ahead and then also goes to the to your right as you're heading down this hallway. Mm-hmm. So, which way would you like to go?
I don't know. Do you have a preference, south or west, Laura?
I do not. Do we know, like, can we see if there's more activity towards one direction, or?
I'm gonna move up and poke around the corner.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see what you see.
Okay.
I
guess I'll walk a little bit further.
Yeah. Okay.
First.
Sure. So I'll move
I guess I should make like a perception check. Is that how I play D&D?
That is how you typically play D&D. So let's see what you see from right where you are. So basically, this seems to be a hallway, obviously. It's called the long hallway. That's a little peek behind the screen for you guys.
Wow.
I know. Look out, behind the scenes, during the game, what's going on. Anyway, so the walls of this hallway, as you possibly don't walk all the way down it, but as you step into it, the walls seem to undulate themselves, moving back and forth as if this corridor is slithering in the manner of a giant snake. The walls themselves and the whole hallway, like as you peer down it and like start to look at the walls, you can see it's undulating and like just the shifting and contracting muscles of a snake the entire length of this hallway.
I don't like this hallway.
In my professional opinion, we should go down the other hallway.
Let's go down the other hallway.
Okay.
And you can see, basically from popping down, you can see that it goes down for a ways, and you can see that there are two passageways to the right that kind of curve off of this long undulating hallway. No? Okay. Okay, so you decide to head south, which you do. And, oh man, thank you everybody for all of the new follows, by the way. Appreciate that. Also, it'll be coming up in the chat eventually. There's merch, if you didn't know, for the Belladonnas, as well as for Nerd Immersion. It's an automated timer. It'll come up eventually.
I ordered my shirt, and Katie made the design for the Belladonnas.
She did.
It's beautiful.
I gotta wait for the next paycheck.
Oh, look, I could just do it. So it's ! Merch. There it is. If you want to pick up any of that stuff, you can get notebooks and whatever else. But anyway, so you guys head into this large chamber, and you can basically see that the let's see. What did I say? Did I say we were doing cardinal north is north? Okay, so then let me adjust to these here. So that's to the southeast and to the northwest, you see there are shrines. Basically, the walls of this chamber feature shrines to. I don't know. You guys can make me, now that you're quite sure that it's Yuan-ti, you guys can make me religion checks. If
Just
you
as no, I still am doing my weirdo.
Sure, doing the weird thing. Yep.
Yeah. My shoulders hurt, but whatever.
Yeah, that's great. It's great for.
Cool, natural one, starting off right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
21.
Okay, so Leo, you're like whatever. Roswin's like not going to do things unless it's necessary, and then she'll activate in combat, and I will run her in combat. So that's how that works. Basically, it'll be looking at this, so it'll be kind of the immediate, you can kind of see it's like a trapezoid room straight across from you, and kind of to the right there, that right corner, there are these statues, and you can actually identify these, Odella, as two Yuan-ti gods. They are Mershulk and Seth. You don't know what you can just like, oh, that's the iconography kind of gives you that idea, but you're not really too certain. Like, it's like reading through a list of Yuan-ti gods. It's like, oh, this symbol equals that. Like, oh, the serpent with the, you saw the serpent with the crown, like the cobra with the crown above it. Different god.
Was that the one that was on the dagger?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Funny enough, because, Dungeons and Dragons, they don't tell you what these gods are for, but you know that those are those gods. So I can't tell you what they're for. But you're like, that's definitely those gods. Everything's probably fine.
So how big are these statues? Like, they carted in statues of their gods? Or like...
Yeah, there are shrines Basically, I guess there are shrines on the wall, and then there are two statues of Yuan-ti. There's Yuan-ti high priests carved into them, and they're in front of these Yuan-ti statues are two sets. Like in front of each one, there is a set of plate mail that seems to be, based on the setup of the room, seems to be like an offering. Like, this is put down in front of the shrine as an offering. You can also see that there is a door to the west.
Can I look around the room, see if this like looks like it's been defaced, like it used to be a room that was in this like in this area before for Diderius, and then the Yuan-ti moved in. We're like, no, it's ours. Statues.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and move into the room and make me a perception check. Oh, I should probably grab dice, huh?
Maybe.
Oops.
Unless you just want to assume we succeed everything.
Or assume you fail. One of the two.
I got a 13.
Okay. So, it's hard to say. This chamber seems to have... What the purpose of this chamber is hard to determine. You don't really see any other kind of, like, iconography that leads you to believe anything separate. However, upon entering into the room, you now are keenly aware of holes in the statues, at which point pour forth from both of the statues just an ungodly amount of snakes just start pouring out of these holes in the statues.
Is this the Indiana Jones themed dungeon?
No, but you watch as to the point where you cannot count the number of snakes. But what's even weirder is they pool up around the plate mail, and then you watch as the plate mail animates upward and picks up a sword that you did not see, except rather than a person, it is just a body comprised entirely of multiple little snakes.
Husband, talk to them.
And I'm gonna need you guys to roll for initiative.
What the hell is this? It's like
This is
Kids in a
terrifying.
Trench Coat, except
This
it's
is
snakes and
terrifying.
plate mail. Oh my god. That's sick. Jeez.
What do we got?
I got a 17.
13.
13.
Roll
Alright.
13 today.
I'll grab some dice here real quick. Oh, for Dungeons and Dragons enthusiasts at home, these are, with a couple of tweaks, these are basically helmed horrors, but instead of animated by magic, they're animated by snakes.
Snakes.
Nick.
Snake. Wow, this is terrible. This is terrifying. I don't like this at all.
That was not very fun.
Alright. So,
Wow, okay.
let us get some
Didn't we have
dice.
like a Staff of the Serpent at some point? We sold it.
You did? You're like, we'll never need
Would that
that.
have helped us?
We'll never
Yeah.
need this.
We'll never need that. Roswin. Oh, let's pull up Katie's character sheet. That would probably be helpful. So Roswin rolled that, and oh, well, these guys did not do very well on their initiative rolls, so be thankful for that. So, looks like, oops, Leo got a 17.
Yes.
All right, looks like you are going to be up first, Leo.
Excellent. So, I guess we'll just start this off right. And I'm just gonna run at it and hit it with my sword.
Okay, so you run up to this suit of plate mail that has animated, and go ahead and make me an attack roll against this snaky suit of armor.
Yeah, and I'm immediately, as I draw my sword and get my shield ready, buffering at this thing. I'm like screaming to get its attention.
Okay.
Okay, so that'll be a 15.
As you strike out with your sword, you see as it just clatters off of the plate mail. Even though animated by snakes, plate mail, still
It's
plate
still
mail.
Plate mail. Alright, I'm gonna try my second swing.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, the lot's a lot better. 26.
Okay. Yeah, you watch as you bring the sword down to try to hit it. It brings up its off arm, and a shield forms out of snakes, but you're still able to hit it.
Ew. Somebody call PETA.
So go ahead.
Well, I rolled ones on all my damage die. That's awesome.
Woo!
So that'll be 8 damage.
Oof. 8 damage.
Pretty
Wow.
sexy.
All right. And wow. Okay. How much was the force damage was 1, as you just said?
Yep.
For whatever strange reason, the first time this has ever happened to you, the force damage doesn't seem to be going through.
What? Force damage?
Well,
Of
helmed
all the
horrors are immune to force damage.
Huh. All right.
That's what I said. Huh? Really?
Okay.
Did I notice this?
Make me a perception check. We'll see. It's hard to say though because it's like he's swinging with the sword. What'd you say?
18.
It's hard to say because the sword, like, it's not like a secondary effect. Like the sword is the sword, so it's not like it's a separate like blast of forced energy. I will let you on your turn, which is Rosman got a 16. So you will go after Rosman. I will let you make an Arcana check. So your perception check was pretty good. I'll let you make an Arcana check on your turn. We'll see if you can possibly posit that like magic missile is not a good idea or something of that.
I was gonna say, I knew what I was gonna do for the first one, but I might use the wand in the future, and I might have to like roll a percentile to see whether she uses it or not, so I don't metagame.
Fair. Let's see. Did you guys? I can't remember if you still had a moonbeam up or not.
Oh, we did through that fight. That's how we mowed them down.
No, I think it wore off.
Well, it probably would have wore off by now anyway, I'm gonna
yeah.
say, because that makes sense.
Thought she like ran to get it there. And
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so I don't know I know she used at least a second level slot because she used at least one moonbeam. Alright, so we're gonna go with, I guess, Produce Flame on the same one that Leo hit.
Wait,
There are 2?
There are 2, yes. Did I not say that? I'm sorry.
No!
No!
Oh, yes.
Absolutely not!
There are 2.
Crap!
I told you there were 2 statues and 2
Yeah, but I
things.
thought only one
The
had an
snakes all
armor.
came together, yeah.
Yeah,
the
from the
statues.
2 separate statues. Let me put them on the map here for you, so you guys can.
I did not think there were 2.
Oh yeah, no, there's 2.
Changes the game entirely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I messed up on that turn then. Oh boy.
That's okay. That's my bad for not properly stating the facts. I thought I made it clear. The
I heard
internet
2
will.
statues, but then I heard snakes come out and form into one. That's what my brain made.
Ah, okay.
that too.
Well, they form into both. Well, you know what? Fine. Then the second one happens right now. How about that?
Perfect.
But so there's still 2. They'll still both go on the same initiative, and they rolled last anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. There. Now they should both be on your map.
Okay, so which one came out first? So that's the one that Leo attacked.
We'll say it's this one on the south there, the bottom one.
Okay.
We'll move him up, or wherever. We'll just put him there. Then Rosman will produce flame, but she rolled a 2, so that's gonna miss, and that is her whole action. So then it's gonna be Odella's turn.
Okay. Ooh, there's 2 of them. Okay, what do I want to do? Sorry, this changes things a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
Force damage?
Well, I know. I didn't think anything was, which is crazy to find that out.
Now you know.
Yeah. Now you indeed know.
Alright, I'm gonna cast guiding bolt and twin it so it hits both of them.
Very cool. All right. So make me 2 attack rolls.
And I'm going to cast it at 2nd level. Just
Okay.
because.
Sure. So go ahead and make 2 separate spell attack rolls.
That's 20, not natural. Okay. And that is 17.
All right. So the 17 will miss, but the 20 will hit.
17 will miss.
Oh yeah, plate mail is still plate mail, which starts at 18.
Hachi machi.
I mean, not metagaming wise, but you know, that's yeah. They're not hard or not too weak.
That's cool. I have half plate. I get it.
Yeah.
That's 18 points of radiant damage.
And I'm gonna assume that's the same one was the first one, the one that they've been hitting, or that Leo hit.
Yep.
Okay. 18 points, and he is glowing. Leo, you watch as this beam of energy kind of shoots over your shoulder into this thing, and now it is kind of glittering and glowing, so that your next attack against this particular one will have advantage.
Yes.
And anything else for Odella?
Let's see. I could. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna back up.
Okay.
I don't
Fair.
want to be here.
Yeah, fair.
I don't
Then
anymore.
Leo, it is your turn.
Okay, so the one with guiding bolt, is that the one right in front of me or the one to the side?
Yeah, that's the one in front of you.
Okay. Cool. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna whip out my iron net
Mm-hmm.
and cast it on this creature. So go ahead and roll the hit. Okay, that'll be a 20, not natural.
That will hit.
Oh wait, I get advantage, right? So I
Yes.
try and...
Yeah.
Okay. No, not better than that. Okay.
But it still hits.
All right. So I'm gonna hit it with my shrieking net.
Okay, so the net comes out and you watch Odella. Perhaps I think this is probably the first time you've seen this. So, this net, which is made out of seemingly metal fibers, and the joints are tiny little iron skulls. And as it is thrown in the air, the skulls actually scream.
Yep.
Like if you can imagine like a Nerf football, right? Like little scream,
Yeah,
the little
with a
whistles,
whistle
like,
on it.
but it's like that, but it's screaming skulls as it's thrown.
Leo's got that whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yep, I'm gonna activate the command word so it transforms into an iron cage.
So you watch as this net hits this creature. It hits it, and then when the command phrase, which is activated, which is whatever you want it to be, it turns from a net into an actual cage.
What's your command phrase?
Well, I got it from some lizard folk, so I don't what would be like a good lizard folk word.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think about that.
What do they speak?
They speak Draconic.
Okay.
We'll have to think about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. My
Sorry,
creative
I didn't mean
brain
to
is
put you on the
failing me.
spot.
That's okay.
I'm usually so good on the spot.
But yeah,
It's like the word for cheeseburger in lizard folk.
sure. Yeah,
Or fast food.
fast food. Got it. Yeah.
fast
All right.
Nice.
Well,
I like
I'll look into that for you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think it's an
Then-
action. Is it an action to activate it? I forget.
I don't think so. I mean, the paragraph was really short. I don't think it was though. But it was an action for me to throw it.
Well, if it was an action, I believe it's an attack because I believe the net. So you still have another attack.
Yes.
So
Okay. So he is trapped in a cage.
correct.
So if I were to back up from him,
He would still get an attack. It would be at disadvantage though.
okay. I'm gonna back up from him and I'm gonna run over to deal with the other one. 'cause this
Okay,
one's
so
locked.
he's gonna try, and that is a 16. So he misses. So you run over to the other one.
Yeah, almost smack him.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll against this guy.
Yes. The 22.
Totally. So again, just don't count the force damage.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh. Oh, okay. Then 5 plus 6 is 11 slashing.
11 points of slashing damage. And do you get the feeling that were your weapon not made from a magical material, that this would not be a good day for Leo the Lion?
Good
But
day
it,
for Leo.
but it is.
It is a good day. Every day is a good day when you're Leo.
You're right. When you hit a target, you can say the command phrase, so it's part of the attack. So that's cool. So I'll just have to keep this up, so that if they try to break out of it. So then next.
That and yeah, an AC 15 with 50 hit points.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So next is Roswin's turn. Let's see what she's got as far as. What do we got as far as spells that we can easily use? Not a whole lot of spells that we're gonna want to pull out at this juncture. So I guess produce flame again. And a fucking 2 again. I'm sorry, Katie.
Wherever you are, I'm sorry. Katie.
You know what? Here, I will. I could designate a different die for you. Just give you this other one. All right, we'll switch that up. This will be for the enemies, and Katie gets her own dice. So that'll be high enough to hit. It'll be like a 24. So there, I'll make that call, and that'll do 6 points of fire damage. She'll hit the one that you're attacking now, Leo, because the other guy's trapped in a cage.
I have a thing for putting people in cages and boxes, apparently, which
Yeah,
is...
hey, we're learning. Leo is evolving. Battlefield Lockdown is his game. Okay, and then after Roswin is Odella.
Do I get advantage on the one in the cage because he's in a cage, or no?
No, he would just have disadvantage on attacks because he's trying to attack through the bars.
Okay. Since he
I mean, if I wanted to be realistic,
Oh,
you'd probably have disadvantage against him too, but I'm gonna let that slide.
Okay, well, since he's in a cage, I'm gonna trust that the cage is okay for now.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna hit the guy that Leo's fighting with Eldritch Blast.
Okay, let's see. You got 2 blasts.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Nope.
And that's a 25.
25 will hit.
Okay, that is... I forgot what Eldritch Blast damage
D10.
D10?
Plus your charisma, yeah.
9 plus 5.
14.
But
Alright.
you know what I just realized?
No.
I think Eldritch Blast is force damage.
Oh shit, it is.
Sorry.
You hit this guy and you're like, ha ha! And he's just like, and the snakes just eat it.
See? No metagaming. I looked it up. I said it. Go me.
You watch as like
hero.
one slightly larger snake comes out of the plate mail and just eats it. And then goes back inside.
I'm like, good to know. We'll not use that again.
Alright.
Is horrified. This is happening right in front of us.
Alright, then it is the enemy's turn. So this guy in the cage, he's gonna try to break out. So he's gonna attack the cage. That's gonna hit the cage, and then that'll also hit the cage. Cage is immune to poison damage because it's a cage.
It's a cage.
Poison.
So 50 HP you said, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's 7. It's 15 points. So he's slashing away at the cage with his sword, and it's a pretty nasty looking jagged sword. And he's just hacking away. And then the other guy who's in
Better
your
the cage than us.
Hey, that is very true. So Leo, this other guy who's you're in combat with, he's gonna try to strike out at you. And that is a 15. And that is a 16. So he misses both times. And then it's going to go back around to you, Leo.
Sweet. Okay. You know, I don't think I should be burning any more spell slots, so I'll probably just keep doing my thing. Let me look at what my bardic inspiration does for the lore bard or the valor bard.
It won't do anything to help you yourself, but it will give. it does all the normal stuff, so they can use it on attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throws, but it also lets them add it to their damage rolls or as a reaction to their AC.
Cool. Okay, sweet. Alright, so I'm gonna start off by hitting this fool.
Alright, you got 2 attacks. Let's see it.
Okay, 20, not natural.
Yep, that's good enough.
And I am rolling so well. A 26.
Yeah, both of those will hit, obviously.
Good.
I'm not using your dice. I started with my DM dice.
Well.
Yeah, well, Katie's got a new die.
Dice. They roll so low.
I tried for a while. Okay, so 12 on the first swing.
12 damage, right? That's not including force.
I'm not even rolling that.
Fair.
What's the point? And then 10 on the second one.
Okay.
And then for my bonus action, I am going to say something very valorous and give Odella a point of bardic inspiration.
Okay. Odella, you have inspiration that lasts for 10 minutes. So again, as per all of the normal things, attack roll, saving throws.
Damage?
You can use it to add to damage or as a reaction to add it to your AC.
Okay.
And I imagine the way Leo does this, because he's in the heat of battle, he begins reciting like an epic of a battle.
In a battle?
While he's fighting, and striking, and,
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
As do I. Alright, and if that's it for you, Roswin's going to use her sparkly die over here that I designated for Roswin. And she's going to produce flame that same guy. And that is a natural 20. So,
yes.
Switching up the dice for Roswin seems to work out. So, that's 3d8. Yeah, so I need one more. So that is 8, 11, 17 points of fire damage as she conjures up this fireball and hurls it at this snake statue thing. And it just incinerates all of the snakes. And the snakes kind of just start to shrivel up and fall apart, and the suit of armor, sword, and shield clatter to the ground. And that's it for Roswin. So, Odella, it is your turn. There is one snake horror left.
Feeling very inspired by the epic poem that's happening right to the east of me.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say, now I will sound out the bells of your doom and cast Toll the Dead on the other one in the cage. Since that doesn't require me to make an attack.
Leo loves it and might love it a lot.
What is
It's
your
just
spell save?
16.
That's a 15, so go ahead and roll up 2d12
Woohoo!
necrotic damage.
That's
Or, yeah,
16.
it's necrotic, yeah.
And can I add the damage from the bardic inspiration to it?
I will stop you there
Oh.
because you notice as the bell sounds, for whom the bell tolls, the necrotic damage has no effect.
What?
Oh,
Why?
Immune to force and necrotic damage.
Oh, I don't like these things. I don't
Be-
like them at all.
I mean, it's again per the game mechanics. It's a helmed horror but made of snakes. The thought process behind a helmed horror is it's an armor animated with magic. So there's technically no life force to suck dry with a necrotic damage. Is my thought. That's how I'm
That makes sense.
flavoring
I
it.
guess.
That's fine, sure.
So anyway,
See what else? Can I do anything else?
Dang it.
well, you still have the inspiration. I'm gonna not have you use it, so you still have it.
Technically, I could cast another spell right now. I think.
Yeah, it was only a cantrip, so.
Oh, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to waste my spells.
Okay.
I feel like we got this. I'm gonna hide behind Roswin because I'm really sad that none of my spells are working, and I'm like scared now. Even though
Okay.
he's still in a cage.
All right, he is still in the cage. So it's his turn. He's gonna strike out at the cage and.
Give a scared look at Leo, like no.
Leo is covered in snake blood and has totally eyes on the enemy, not paying attention.
So you watch as he strikes out and he hits one, and the second one it kind of gets stuck on the cage above and does not do enough, and it actually misses. So Leo, it's gonna go to you. You've got one guy left trapped in a cage.
Cool. I'm gonna sheathe my sword and take my longbow and just stand and fire shots into the cage.
Okay, go ahead and make your first shot.
I haven't used my bow yet. A 23 for the first one.
23 will hit.
Oh my god, a 28. This is amazing.
Wow.
Both will hit, so go ahead and roll your d8s there.
Oh, I love it.
Now remember, this is a bow, so it's a d8 plus your dex mod for damage.
Yep.
So it won't be as high as the strength, but...
True. So the first one will be 8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one will be 5 damage. I still have a +3 to dex.
You do notice that the non-magical nature of these arrows does not seem to be doing full damage.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. Not full Is it doing some?
It's doing some.
Oh, okay.
Not full.
We're fine.
Alright. Anything else?
Nope. I'm gonna keep my distance. Well, I'm gonna go and stand in front of everybody to guard them, but...
Alright, so Katie's gonna roll another natural 20 for her Produce Flame.
Nice.
So... these damage rolls need to be better, though. 14... Oh, there we go. 21 points of fire damage from this Produce Flame. So, it doesn't seem to be doing too well. Odella, it is your turn.
Seeing that fireworks on it, I'm gonna sacred flame that bitch.
Okay, so that's radiant damage.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
Not...
But like...
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just making a point that...
It says...
Is it immune to radiant damage, too?
No, it's not immune to radiant damage.
I was gonna say, Ted, you're lying.
And it does fail its saving throw, so it will take the full 2d8.
Says flame, guys.
Yes, but it's radiant. But yeah.
No. My radiant looks like flames.
Sure. It's still radiant, though.
Yeah.
9 points of damage.
Alright, so that's actually enough as this light, radiant light from above in the guise of flames comes down and hits this snake, and it, in a flash of light, the snakes shrivel and dissipate, and the plate mail, sword, and shield clatter to the ground.
I will deactivate my net, and I'll put that away in my bag.
And it turns back into a net.
And, what does the sword look like? Is it cool?
It's cool looking. I will show you here in a sec. Actually, I think, because I should have the ability to show you the Helmed Horror in the chat here. You notice that it's having... that there were kind of biting along the hilt of the sword was a snake that has since died. But basically the snakes were like milking their own venom onto the blade to coat the blade in poison. But having died, that effect does not seem to be apparent anymore.
Snakes are the worst.
Snakes are terrible. Yep, no, okay. What about the plate mail? Does it look cool?
So that's the horror right there on the screen. Should pop
But
up
like
for you.
instead of red, it's snakes.
But instead of red, it's green snakes, yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's what the sword looks like.
Oh wow, this plate mail is really cool.
That
sword looks really cool too.
So it looks like that. It's not magic or anything. It just looks like that.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay, you have it. The plate mail is plate mail. So it is standard plate mail, but you know that to purchase something like this would probably run you about 1,500 gold pieces at a regular shop. So that's, if selling to the right person, you might be able to make about 1,500 by selling both. And with a quick look around the room, the statues that the snakes actually fell out of, you notice that the eyes of the statues are actually rubies.
Do you mean the eyes that the snakes came out of?
No, because there's rubies set there, but there's holes in the statues that the snakes fell out of that picked up the plate mail.
Okay, I unfold my hole, and I'm like, let's do it.
All right, so do you guys go and pry the rubies out of the eye sockets?
I don't know that I do that.
I would not do that.
Weird, but
I would absolutely not.
Okay.
Also, because he's back to respect. Like, he doesn't know.
Okay, they are Yuan-ti statues. I will
I know,
make.
but it's still not nice to walk. I don't know their story. Like, they're just
Yeah.
living their lives. And then we come in here and we're like, grave rob. No. We
I
don't
mean,
wanna
I'll
do
take
that.
the armor, but I'm
Yeah.
not prying the rubies out. That's just
No.
like, I mean, they got their own thing. They worship their own gods. They're wrong, but like,
But,
I'm not
but,
gonna
you
be
know.
rude either.
right.
Okay.
I ask if I can put my sword in your hole.
Go for it.
Slide it right in.
Yep.
That Leo does that thing again where he says it and then he goes. He's like trying to be professional.
So, that's it for this room.
Alright. Well, let's check out these doors in this room.
Okay, there is a set of doors here.
Are you good at investigation or
I'm pretty decent.
I'm not.
I think, if I remember.
Intelligence
I played a lot
is
of
not.
characters this week, so let me see.
Yeah.
I'm
Intelligence is
pretty
not
good.
my strong suit, so
I'm
investigating is
proficient in
not.
it. I will check for traps.
Okay, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
17 plus 5 is 22.
Let's see.
Rosalind, step away. I gotta check for traps real quick. You're too close.
It does not appear to be trapped.
No traps that I can see.
Great. I'll bust it down.
Okay, so go ahead and you can basically move into or beyond the door, and you'll see that there is a hallway.
Wow.
I accidentally went into a different thing.
Okay.
So-
Wait, there's another door?
Nope. I
Yes.
accidentally went into the non-hallway.
Ah,
That's good.
well, yeah, basically it will lead you to another door. And you see that, you know that this is a relatively common thing you've seen thus far, is that there's like chambers that lead to other chambers, kind of little hallways in between. So yeah, there is another door in front of you.
Anything notable about these doors, or like?
This particular one, no, it doesn't seem to have anything too notable about it.
Do they match the style of the doors in the rest of the tomb?
They do.
So we're still in the tomb. That's good.
Okay.
I believe that Diderius' exact words open a portal to darkness, so I'm like,
Yeah, that's why I was questioning before whether we looked like we were in
Yeah.
a room that
it's like,
was...
are we in the Shadowfell? Like, what's going on?
That would be bad.
That would be horrible.
Mm,
Okay, I guess we should check this door too.
sure.
18 plus 5 is 23.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna open it.
I give you the thumbs
Okay.
up.
You guys move into this chamber.
Oh, there's bros in
Oh
here.
no.
So, yeah, as you move into this chamber, a dozen cylindrical shafts, 3 feet wide and 7 feet deep, are cut into the stone floor here and are used for some purpose. You don't know what. 2 totems stand here, both in the form of asps or, cobras, if you're on, rising up with their mouths open. Let's see. You can see that there are currently 3 lizard folk and 1. I guess you can, by this point, we'll say you can identify that this is a Yuan-ti pureblood. You've kind of gotten the idea and have heard that these things. So it looks like a humanoid, a slight humanoid. But when you look closer, you can kind of see that the eyes are green and slitted pupils like that of a snake. But for the most part, seemingly to like at a quick glance you wouldn't know the difference between them and a regular person.
What are they doing when we walk in?
They're like, oh shit. Like they weren't expecting you to be there. And then roll for initiative.
Oh man, these people, why can't we just talk it out?
Yeah. I got 21.
Okay.
13.
13. Snake peeps. Oh, I did pretty good.
Are they all
What's with
spread
the-
out like this?
Yeah.
What's up? Sorry. Yeah, they're basically laid out like that, yeah.
What's with the lizard folk and the Yuan-ti hanging out? Is that like normal?
I guess you could make me an intelligence check.
Oh. Well, let's see.
See what you know.
Oh, wow. That's still a not natural 20.
Okay. Don't forget
Wow.
you add half your proficiency bonus to ability checks you're not proficient in. So that adds half your proficiency bonus to that as well.
Oh.
Rounded down, but...
Okay. Then that'd be 21.
See? There you go. Pretty solid all around.
Right.
You're not... it's not uncommon. Yuan-ti are typically they're quite intelligent creatures. So lizard folk are more tribalistic. And if the Yuan-ti potentially provided them with some sort of, benefit, or like, oh, come with us and you'll get shiny things, or we'll help you out your people, or any of that kind of stuff, they'd probably jump on board. They're not like the Yuan-ti. I mean, the Yuan-ti are also slavers in general, so it's probably one of the two. You get the feeling just from the poise of the scenario when you guys walk in that the Yuan-ti is the one in charge, and the lizard folk are kind of there more than likely out of obligation. Odella, you are up first, though.
Rosalind's in the way.
I mean, she's not really. I just put her there because she's the one I'm controlling that lets the people watching on the internet see the map.
Okay. Well, then I do Burning Hands and
Hit those first two?
Yeah.
Okay, so they gotta make dex saves. Oh, they fail horribly.
Yay!
Huzzah. And it's still been less than 10 minutes. So
Oh yeah, it's been less than a minute, really.
So you still have your bardic inspiration.
Correct.
So how much is that?
A D8.
D8. Okay. I will use it. Ooh, that's a 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 5 is 18. 18 points.
18 points. Alright, yeah, so you send out a wave of flame and scorch both of these guys. They do not look good, although they are still standing.
And then I'm gonna... Well, there's a door back there. Crap.
Yep, you got a door at the north end and a door basically immediately to the left when you walk in.
I'm just gonna scoot so I'm not directly in front of the door then.
Okay. Then it is... Oh, it is their turn. So the lizard folk are basically... the Yuan-ti is going to kind of hang back. The lizard folk are all going to run up, and we'll just put one on each of you guys.
No.
And they got their big old heavy clubs.
No.
Their weapons all do the same. So this guy's going to club at Odella. He's going clubbing with...
we already did that episode.
With a 16?
That is my armor class, but I will use shield.
That is a worthwhile cause. And he's going to club you again. And he's going to miss. Then this guy's going to come up and he's going to reach out. He's going to try to bite Leo. And he's going to get a... Oh, that's a 20. Not natural. And he's going to punch you in the face with his spiky shield.
He's gonna try.
He's going to get another... He's going to get an 18. So then he's going to bite Roswin.
No.
With a natural 20. So he's going to bite
Roswin.
Roswin.
Oh.
And Roswin's going to take 10 points of damage. And then he's like, oh, that worked pretty well. I'm going to do it again. And he's going to miss. He's going to miss and hit her turtle shell. So Roswin is going to take 10 points of damage. And then the Yuan-ti in the back is going to cast a spell at Leo. I need Leo to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. I don't like that. I'm not very wise. An 18.
Oh, yeah, you're totally fine. So, and she's like, shit. And then it's going to go from her to Leo.
Can I tell what spell she was trying to cast on me? Did it feel like a suggestion?
It felt like there is some sort of compulsion-based magic, yes.
I'm familiar with such things.
You're also getting the feeling, having experienced this potentially twice before, that this seems to be a thing that they have.
Great. That's terrible news. All right. Well, I am really, really mad that one bit Roswin, so I am gonna go over and smack it.
Okay, so this will be one of the ones that Odella already hit, we'll say.
Yeah. Okay. So 16 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
Okay. And then I guess I should do damage and see if I kill it. Right.
You should probably do that, yeah.
Okay. So that'll be 5 slashing. Oh, and I get to roll my force again.
Yeah, force is back on the table.
Okay, and then 4 points of force.
Yeah, so you just stab this guy right through the chest and he drops.
Nice. And then without another beat, I'm gonna swing around and step to hit number 2.
Okay.
Okay. Stop hurting my friends! Natural roll 20.
Yeah. We'll say, just to be nice, that this is the guy that hadn't been hit yet.
Okay. Alright. I don't have enough d4s. That's okay. Okay, 12 plus 2 force damage. Plus 11 slashing plus 3 force damage.
Those are all of so many numbers.
So, yes.
I don't know. I'm gonna just say that he's dead because that's a lot of numbers. So, yeah. So you basically kill this guy as well, and then this guy. There's one guy left. Anything else first of all before you end your turn?
I think I am out of things.
Okay, then it is Roswin's turn. Yep. And she's gonna, I guess, pull out her stick, try to boop this last guy on the snoot, and gonna get a 12 plus.
Do you think we should keep the pure blood alive and ask where Verum is?
We can try.
And she is gonna deal 9 points of damage, and she's gonna boop this lizard folk, and down he goes. So then it is Odella's turn, and all that is left is the Yuan-ti.
Okay, I'm gonna use my ring of shooting stars. I'm just gonna use one charge, and shoot. She needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dex save. She rolled a 9, so I'm gonna just... Actually, I don't know what the save is for...
It's 15.
15? I don't think she's gonna have a +6. So let's just check that, though. Yuan-ti... Nope. So she fails.
Ooh.
That is 14.
14 points? Alright, so she is actually... Oh, wait, no, hang on. Oh, actually, so what happens if she passes? Anything?
It's half.
Okay, so she's actually going to take only half, because I forgot that Yuan-ti have advantage on all saving throws versus magic.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's bananas.
Magic resistance. That's why playing as a Yuan-ti player character is one of the best things you can ever do, because you are flat out immune to poison and have resistance, or have advantage on all saving throws versus spells and magic effects. Plus, the innate ability to cast Animal Friendship on snakes, Suggestion once a day, Poison Spray as the cantrip. Being a Yuan-ti is pretty solid.
Wow.
If you can swing it and your DM is dumb enough to allow it, then, I mean, it's in Volo's Guide to Monsters. It's allowed. Like, it's a fully allowable thing. But anyway, so then it is her turn. So she used her one suggestion. Oh, she can use it multiple times. She's going to try to switch it up. She's going to suggest Odella. Odella, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
14.
Nope, you're good.
Oh, I'm good? Okay.
Yeah, 14 is good enough.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, shit.
She's not having a good day.
Then it is Leo's turn.
Cool. All right, so I think we want to grab her. So I'm going to go ahead and sheathe my sword as I run over there and grapple her.
Okay, so you're going to make a athletics check, resisted by her. Athletics or acrobatics check.
Yes. Oh, I'm really good at that. I'm a beef boy.
Okay, let's see what you got.
24.
Yeah, she rolled a 5. So, yeah, you grapple her. She's grappled.
I'm like full Nelson, like, like no, don't go anywhere.
She is grappled. Then it is Roswin's turn. And she's thrashing about. She's not like...
Leo's like, hold still. We just need to ask you some questions and I won't hurt you.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's going to make an insight check anyway.
Okay.
Because she's like,
I don't lie.
I know, but she doesn't know that. And Yuan-ti are just liars. So, she's like still struggling, but less so.
All right, and I'm like, you know, still firmly got her, but I'm trying to make it clear, like I'm not being overtly aggressive. We just need to know what happened to Verum the White. Where is he?
And she'll like glare at Roswin and Odella, and she'll like try to glare at you, but you can't because you're like behind her. Because you specifically said full Nelson.
Yep.
So she's like, he's somewhere deeper in the cave or in the tomb.
Why
if he's still alive.
Why did you take him?
Because this is our tomb. He was trespassing.
So if we take him off your hands, will you be okay with that?
Perhaps, but it is not my call to make.
Whose call is it?
Yeah, there you go.
What is her name? She doesn't have a name. Cool.
We weren't supposed to interact with this NPC.
No, I'll just say...
Too bad.
The High Priestess.
Could you take us to her? We really don't want to kill you guys. We just want to take Verum. We're here to arrest him, basically.
No more of your people have to die if you agree to this.
Because really, we just go into rooms, you guys attack us. We have no time to tell you that we're not here to...
Yeah.
Make me a persuasion check.
Me?
One of you two.
Do I get help? Well, we both have the same persuasion, so it really doesn't matter.
Do you both have 10?
I have 11. I thought you had 11 too.
I have 10.
Do you have expertise in persuasion or no?
Uh-huh.
So it should be what's your charisma?
I have an 18.
Ah, that's why. Yeah. So yours is slightly better. Odell, yeah, I'll say if you guys are working
Can I aid?
Yeah, so you can totally have advantage on this persuasion check here.
So that's a 23.
Okay. How do I want to do this? Let's see. And she says, so you just want this dwarf? Yes?
Yep, that's all we want.
Yes. Take him and get him out of here. And we will leave. And leave you to your home decorating.
Well, perhaps we can make an arrangement. She says,
I smile my best smile.
She says, I will do my best to quell the nature of my associates, but I cannot speak for how they will act.
Fair enough.
Right.
So she says, please let go.
And I will.
Okay, you let go, and she like cracks her neck a little bit and like tries to like shake out the looseness in her or the stiffness in her shoulders.
Sorry, I'm a burly man.
And she will
Not.
and she will say, come this way. And she'll lead you out the door to the north.
Okay. Oh, into the creepy breathing hallway.
Yes, the creepy hallway. So, you guys head out.
I am definitely walking, like, just behind her.
Okay, are you still doing your thing?
So she probably.
And she's like,
I'm this.
what's wrong with this one? She says to Odella, looking at Leo, like hunched over, walking through.
I don't know. She heard a voice back in the other tomb that she's supposed, or he was supposed to do this. I'm not really sure.
It's fine. Take us to your leader. And Leo says that like a joke, like we're all friends here now.
It has allowed us to pass through some of the other chambers unmolested, though, so I can't really fault it.
And she's like, strange.
Yeah, well.
So as you guys were leaving that room, you noticed that there were these like circular pits in the ground, these cylindrical shafts. And you could see, the glint of gold and copper and silver in some of these holes, as well as a potion bottle in one of them. And yeah, you exit out into the undulating snake-like hallway. And you see she doesn't think anything of it, really. And you can see there, again, are those two hallways that lead off to the north. She doesn't take you into those. She heads further to the west, and you can see that there is a door that leads to the north. Mm-hmm. And, oops, I gotta get onto the right page. And a hallway that leads to the south. And she will take you towards that hallway. And you can see that down that hallway are 4 lizard folk and 2 other Yuan-tis. These Yuan-tis have humanoid bodies but snake heads. Mm-hmm. And you see all of them. They seem to be standing guard in some form. And they all, at the ready, draw kind of these curved, hooked, at least the Yuan-ti do, these kind of curved blades. Kopeshes for those of you who are weapon enthusiasts.
Leo probably appreciates that. So
yes, they are traditional Egyptian blades. Like if you watched any of the old school mummy movies, like the Anubis warriors had those curved blades.
Like this, they're almost like mini scythe.
Sort of, they're just a little longer. Or the Dothraki use them, sort of, in Game of Thrones.
Like a half moon blade.
Sort of, yeah, basically. Anyway, so you head, she'll basically be like, it's fine. And then you hear her utter in a different language something as you guys start to move past to the other 2. And Odella, you actually happen to know this language, yes, as it is Abyssal.
Yes, it's coming in handy.
And she says to the 2 of them, basically, if they try anything funny, we'll just kill them.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's super fair.
Yeah.
So you guys,
It wasn't like, we'll kill them around the corner or something like that.
I'm gonna steal their wallet.
so you guys head down this hallway, and at the end of this hallway, you can see there's a door. That she doesn't take you into that door either, and she takes you to the end of this hallway as the hallway opens up into a significantly larger room, which I'm scrolling over to for those of you on the chat who would like to see this.
A lot of tokens in here, Ted.
Yes, there is.
There's a big one. Oh, that big one.
Really big one, Ted.
Yeah, so that Yuan-ti that you see at the front there is basically kind of what that token looks like. It is large sized. It is a humanoid snake, a humanoid torso with a head, 2 arms, but it is all entirely snake-like with a snake-like lower half that is a snake tail, basically. And she will kind of lead you into this room. And you can see that there are 2 other snake people in this room. These Yuan-ti have humanoid heads, but snakes for arms, as opposed to actual arms.
These people live their lives. Like,
Yeah, how do you, like, the genus of the species in this is banana.
like I just imagined the dating. Like,
Yeah. Oh, like, I'm really into guys with snake arms, but I'm really not into the guys with snake heads. Like, you know.
like
Yeah, that's the
Makes
different
tons of
types
super
of
hot.
Yuan-ti Malazans. There's 3 types, and the other third type has the serpentine lower half, but a humanoid upper half.
See, that'd just be disappointing in a relationship.
Yes. So, she will lead you into this room, and you see that there are 3 other people that look similar to her, both male and female. There are 3 of them that seem to be that they are, kind of humanoid looking, but with snaky features. And this large one with the kind of snake-like appearances, you actually can see that this is feminine. This is a female abomination, even though the token doesn't,
I don't see boobs.
Yeah, sorry.
Where are the boobs?
For all of the mammary glands and nursing that snakes do.
Oh,
Yeah.
If fantasy has told me anything, it doesn't matter what the species is. If it's
It has
female, it'll have boobs.
Right, that's how.
So, is it clear that this creature is in charge?
Yes, she's kind of done up in kind of more finery and has like mantle and stuff that would lead you to believe that she is probably a priestess. She also is holding a dagger in her hand, perhaps ceremonial, perhaps not. It is definitely a unique dagger. I guess you can make me a perception check, Odella. Let's
You
see.
make a I like swords check.
You can try.
Not natural 20.
Just
Okay.
go with that.
Okay. Trying to see if I can show you this without actually giving you the entirety of what the weapon does. Turns out I cannot. Anyway, it looks to be made of a tooth of a dragon.
Ooh.
Like the dagger is more or less a singular big long tooth shaped into a dagger-like shape, but basically formed from some sort of dragon
That's
tooth.
awesome.
And you can see that there are torches kind of around with all of these statues. There are giant stone serpents that you can see here. Their mouths are open, and there are flames guttering in each mouth. They are green flames in all of the mouths. And at the back of the room, you can see an altar carved with the form of a giant open-mouthed cobra. And next to this is a beaten and bound dwarf.
Oh.
One that you would assume to probably be Verum.
Mm-hmm.
as he does have some very dirty, but clearly once were vibrant purple robes. Remnants of purple robes.
Great. How are they reacting to us walking in the room?
They are on edge, and you can kind of see that the priestess was possibly in the means of some sort of ritual or some sort of religious type thing, and it stops as you enter the room, and you see that your kind of guide bows as she enters the room to the priestess. And I would just, as a little fun fact here, I can throw this on screen. So this is but a feminine version of this. Is what she looks like.
I mean, I feel like a feminine version of that would just look like that.
Yeah, but it's
Does
just
it have like mascara on, or
yeah,
Eyelashes.
totally got eyelashes, mascara,
painted nails,
the whole nine.
Cute little lipstick on its scales.
Yep.
I love it. It's cute.
Leo would like to imitate and flourish the bow that is given to the priestess and say, "High priestess."
Odella will also slightly bow.
And Roswin will be the last to pick up on what's going on, but she'll do it. Or curtsy, I guess probably it's Roswin, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, I guess, you guys had mentioned Verum previously, so, let's just switch this up just ever so slightly, the layout here. So we're gonna put Verum next to her, and she will yeah. This makes more sense. It'll be easier for roleplay wise. So she's got this dagger to his neck when you guys walk in.
Oh.
But like seemingly waiting for you guys.
Got it.
Oh.
And she says, "So, we finally meet." And like she's got him by the hair, and like he's like doesn't even seem to be really with it.
Yeah. Indeed, it is a great honor to meet one with such power and magnanimity. We come to speak with you. We wish to leave here with that dwarf in your possession. That is why we have come.
And she looks at you, and her eyes narrow, her snake-like eyes narrow, and she says, "Why do you seek this dwarf?"
He is a criminal amongst our people and may have knowledge that will help stop many more of our kind from perishing.
She says, "If you take this creature from our temple, will you promise to not slay any other of my people?"
Absolutely. I give you my solemn word.
I as well.
She looks about to the numbers that she has and the numbers that you have, but notices the relative limit of damage you've taken to make your way thus far. And kind of seems to be, overlooking you guys. You can also see in the room there is basically a treasure hoard with hundreds of platinum and gold pieces, a ton of gems, scrolls and things, all like piled up in the corner of the room. What?
Kidding. Nothing. I was like, scroll.
Yeah, you see at least 2 scrolls.
Does it look like there's books?
It does
Like that
not
might belong-
appear to have any books in this
Not
room.
Ilda's books.
Yeah,
No.
Good thought. Good thought.
And she says, "So be it." And she will basically like grab him by the scruff of the neck and just like toss him over to you.
I'm gonna catch him.
Okay, make me an athletics check.
Okay. Oh, catch the dwarf. Okay. an athletics,
Yes.
did you say?
Mhm.
Okay, a 16.
Okay, yeah, you managed to catch him and kind of steady him. He seems to still be relatively out of it. And she says, "But I will keep his dagger." And she, like, twirls the dagger that he had. And you kind of hear, like, from him, but he doesn't actually say anything.
Oh, so the dragon tooth dagger was his.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm gonna, like, sling him on my back like fireman. Thank you for your...
Mass, so
Yeah. Yeah, your
And she will look,
generosity.
and she says, and she looks to you and she says, to ensure that you're compliant with the terms of our agreement, I will let you in on a little secret. She says, your dwarf friend has had his soul extracted from his body by powerful Yuan-ti magics. Upon leaving our tomb, we shall return his soul to him.
Oh, okay.
But
I was like...
I was like, what?
if word is to
I don't want
reach
him
my
either.
ears that you have slain and a Yuan-ti had broken the terms of our agreement, then we will damn his soul forever, and he will die.
Meh.
You are fair and wise, great one. Thank you.
And she says, please be on your way.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm good with leaving. I don't need to explore. We're rich. It's not really that big.
We need to come into somebody else's tomb and, like, steal their shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys start to head out, and Rosamund's like, "Oh well, thank you for the hospitality. It's so nice, and you're really pretty, and I really like your scales." And
I'm like, have a nice day. Thank you.
and they're like,
never get to use it.
and they're like a little like, "Oh, that's weird that she speaks that." All right, but so basically, you guys leave. Now you have exited, and you notice that as you came in, those 4 lizard folk and Yuan-ti kind of followed you. And they sort of part to allow you to continue past. So, let's say you guys basically make it back up to the kind of corner where the undulating hallway starts. From there, where would you guys like to go?
So,
I just want to go back the way we came, I think, right?
yeah, I think get out of this level and back into the tomb. My only concern is that the treasure chamber that the devils were guarding, if the books for the ghost are down there, because Leo doesn't want to leave until that's, solved. But we have Verum, who is their boss, so we can be like, you can leave now.
Yeah,
Right?
That's true, right?
Yeah. They were
Rosalind
working for
told
him,
us
so...
that they were just under, like, thing for him, so you can be like, hey...
Look, we got him. You're cool. You can leave back to your stupid hell plane.
We can at least try. And
Yeah.
If not, then...
Okay.
Yeah.
That is entirely an option that you have to you.
And they're not
You-
Yuan-ti, so I don't think we'll be breaking the agreement.
No, you also know, just as a point of fact, you guys did not see, like, in any of the traversing that you've done, this pool. The only pool you saw was that, like, one room with, like, that dirty pool. And you guys were like, oh, this isn't it. And you walked on, so you haven't seen anything elsewhere to, like, this magical divination pool.
It's probably in the treasure room or whatever. I mean, that's why they're guarding it, right?
The Beard Devils?
They didn't say they were
I don't
guarding
think
that.
so.
No, they just said they were told, kill anybody that comes out of there.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be full of treasure.
I don't think that the Yuan-ti would have gotten Verum down there either. I think he probably came. I think it's probably somewhere in here, and that's how he got captured by them. Because they said he left, and then the Beard Devils said he left and never came back.
Got it. Well, we definitely don't want to use the pool.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
sure that I really care.
Yeah, it's
I'm not gonna
evil.
sacrifice. I guess we could sacrifice Verum, but like I'm not.
No,
that type of
we
person.
that's not our
Yeah.
mission. No.
I'm not,
I mean, you also know that it's. Did you guys ever figure out what was supposed to activate it? I forget.
Well, Well, now it's like
You know that it was dark, but I couldn't recall if you guys actually got like the specifics of how it was supposed to be. I know that Ilda had said like if the Yuan-ti are using it, it's probably pretty nasty.
they said something about sacrifices, right?
Yeah,
Right,
it's
it required a
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure, how I couldn't remember if I'd given you more info than that.
Well, I thought you meant like ceremony wise or something like that.
Well, yeah, I was like I said, if I'd given you more info than that, because I was just asking because the Yuan-ti would know, but you clearly left them, so I just,
Yeah, I'm not really. I don't care.
Okay.
We got what we came for.
I have to take a quick bio break.
Yeah, we could take a break, so that's fine. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a short break, while everybody handles bios and all that good stuff. So I will throw up some tunage, and we will be back in just a bit. I see.
Oh, also, Wingman has been here the whole time, but
Well, of course.
just, like,
That's the same with
he's
Pygot.
chilling.
Well, like I said,
Wingman and Pygot can hang out because they're there, but they're not.
They're not.
so again, my what I will say in regards to these familiars that are not being used in a combat scenario is that if they are providing you a benefit that you utilize in combat, then they can be targeted.
Got it.
I.e., if Pygot is close enough to give you advantage on saving throws versus spells and you're going to utilize that in combat, Pygot becomes a viable target.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's only like out of combat to like fuck with people, or like, hey, Wingman, I know you can sense that things are poison. Is this meat I'm about to eat poison? No? Okay, then I'm gonna eat it.
This steak good, bro?
Yeah, right? Like, is this wine poison? That kind of stuff.
We are definitely not drinking any Yuan-ti gifts of wine.
No, probably a good
Absolutely
call.
not.
Probably a reasonable call.
Roswin totally would.
Yeah, she
We have
totally
to
would.
stop her.
So you guys are gonna head back. Basically, where you guys are gonna just go the same path you went all the way back through the tomb,
Mm-hmm.
to the devils, basically.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna use some DM token control here. We're just gonna teleport you over there. So basically, for the folks at home, you're walking back down this undulating hallway, up this kind of slant where there's kind of a chasm on either side, through basically a portal that will take you into a room with a tomb where you had approached and Diderius had spoken in your brain.
It's kind of weird. I've like draped Verum over, so I like hold him, but kind of like a baby, so I can still do my
Sure.
my symbol thing.
And you walk through the room with like the circular pool of water that had the kind of flushy system that came from the other side. And then you go through that hallway back into the room with the bearded devils.
Before we get in there,
Okay.
can I look at Verum and just be like, how bad off is he? Like, does he need healing, or like, what is he gonna die in the next like 5 minutes, or what's his status?
He is not like bleeding out by any means. He definitely seems like he's pretty roughed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's in some, like he was probably in some pain at some point. He also seems like he is alive. So he doesn't seem to be in like the threat of death by any means at the moment. He doesn't look very good. Like if you tried to fight him, you'd probably kill him pretty good. You get the feeling. But yeah. And then again, you're not sure if, his soul has been extracted from his body, if that has any ramifications.
I don't know what that means. So okay.
But he seems like incoherent, basically, for the most part.
Okay. So I guess let's go talk to the devil dude bros.
Okay, so you come into this
Tell
room.
Roswin what to say.
Yeah.
Yes, and so before you guys come into this room, what do you want to say to these 5 guys?
But they make some good burgers and fries.
Yeah. Basically, we have we rescued Verum, your boss. We're leaving, so your contract is probably fulfilled, so you can head out.
That's what you want to have Rosman say to them, yeah?
Mm-hmm. In her super nice Roswini way.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just trying to figure out, because she told you that they didn't seem to really like Verum, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I thought he was a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like bound to stay there until he releases them, I thought.
Right, so you guys come into the room, and they're like, hey, what's up? And Rosman's like, oh, well, so, we got, your boss, he's right here, he's Verum, and, like, he looks pretty messed up, and, like, I was gonna heal him, but they're like, maybe don't heal him, and I was like, okay, maybe I won't heal him, because he's kind of a jerk, because you guys said he was a jerk, so, but we've got him, and he's here, so I think that means you guys can go home, right? And the other guy's like, well, he had, like, it's the nature of contracts. He has to let us go. Like he needs to either die and then we're absolved, or he needs to be like, you guys can go, and then we're like, okay.
Did Verum say anything in the rules, like if Verum was moving in and out of the throne room or the treasure room, that not to kill him?
He left instructions to guard against any creature coming out of that area. That's it. So even if he went in and came out, he would have to die too. Unless he changed his ruling.
Do you think we could, like, get him back to conscious enough to tell them they can go?
I mean, if you get him back to... You probably could. Easily. But if you get him back to consciousness, then he's conscious. So he can do and or say whatever he wants.
Yeah, he could order them to, like, just attack us too. Like, why would he?
We saved his life.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. You don't know how rough.
He doesn't have a soul.
You don't know how rough off he is at the moment. And you also don't know how much he knows how rough off he is. So, like, you could theoretically try to heal him for a minimal amount, to use game mechanics terms, so that if things go south, you could be like, yeah, we'll just kill you. You know, or whatever the case may be. Like, I mean, you get the feeling that magical healing or a long rest will return his mental faculties to him.
Well, do you want to go ahead and try that?
Maybe outside the room.
Yeah, okay, we'll be like, one sec.
Also, if any of you have, I don't know if any of you have, like, compelling based magic.
Oh, can I just, I'll just suggest him to tell them.
He'd need to be conscious to understand you, but yeah. But yeah, you could just be like, I cast suggestion, dismiss your devil companions, and then he'd have to do it. And then shut up for 7 more hours, or whatever.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, perfect. Let's do that.
So you take...
That's so cool, Leo. I didn't know that you had that ability.
Oh, yeah, I'm a pretty persuasive guy. And I give you a charming smile.
Alright, so you guys step out of the room. Roswin will pluck one of the the jasmine flowers off of the vine on her staff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, pop it in his mouth, and then, like, he'll, like, make his head chew it, because that functions like a good berry, so that gives him 1 point of magical healing. And then you'll see, like, his eyes, like, the glossiness begins to, like, lessen, and he starts to, like, look and check out his surroundings and start to come to.
He's tied up, right?
He was bound, yeah.
Okay, I just want to...
So he starts to come to and starts to, like, take in his surroundings. Did you want to cast suggestion?
I'm going to cast suggestion upon him.
Alright, and... What's your spell save DC?
It is a 15.
Okay. So he's going to fail.
Okay. Sweet. Can I say follow my commands for 8 hours?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's just find out here. Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, sweet.
Let's go with that. So, yeah, and he's like, all right.
And I tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, good boy. And then, speak only when I tell you to. Okay, and then let's go in the room. And
you go into the room.
We're gonna walk back in him. Verum, tell your buddies that their contract is done and they can go home.
And he's like, your contract is done and you can go home. And then the other guy, like, winks at Roswin. He's like, sweet, we're out. Later. Keep it real. And they all disappear in a 5 puffs of brimstone.
Yay!
Verum, tell us what's down in that room.
And he says, oh, it's a bunch of treasure.
Ooh, let's go down there.
Follow us, and don't attack us.
All right.
Ask her if there's any traps.
Oh, Verum, tell us, are there any traps down there?
No, there's no traps.
I feel bad. Okay, sweet. Then let's go. I'm still carrying him.
Okay. So you guys head down the stairs. Let's see. Get rid of these guys. So yeah, you basically head down the stairs. Let's grab Roswin. She's the chat controller here. Move down the hall because there is a door at the bottom of the stairs. And we'll just shift over the map a little bit. Yeah, so let's see. So as you guys are coming down the stairs, you can see that there is actually embedded in the wall to an area up above. There's a dumbwaiter that you didn't see. Like, it leads up. You're not sure where it goes, but there is some sort of dumbwaiter there. The ropes and the platform are pretty, and like it seems to be pretty rotten. And they're kind of strewn about the stairs. But as you guys start to come down this hallway, you kind of hear like stuff comes out of the walls and attacks you.
Is it because I wasn't doing the thing?
Maybe, you don't know.
Oh, I thought I was doing the thing.
No, it's not because of that.
Okay, alright, good.
So you see two of these things appear to attack you, and then 4 of these other guys.
Dun dun. Ew. There's a lot of ghosts.
Yeah.
Do I know from being slightly holy that radiant damage will do more damage to these?
You know that from being holy, radiant damage will do potentially the same amount of damage no matter what. Well, let's find out. You know that radiant damage will do the exact same amount of damage as anything else. It does not do extra damage.
But it doesn't do, like, less damage either.
It does not do less damage, no. I'll say from being holy that necrotic damage, you will know, probably don't use that.
Okay.
You'll also know that undead types in the ghostly persuasion typically have a butt ton of resistances.
Yeah.
But typically shadows are the ones you're thinking of. creatures made literally from shadow, those are the ones that take extra damage from radiant. So let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
A 20.
4.
20, 4. Roswin got a 14. All right, Leo, you are up first, sir, and there are 4 of these specters and 2 wraiths.
Okay. Are they in the room or on the stairs?
They're sort of coming out of the walls.
In the stairs?
In the stairwell, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna curse because I have a dwarf in my arms. I'm gonna have to. Sorry. I'm gonna have to run back to the top of the stairs and like go put Verum down.
Well, if you do that, you will potentially provoke 6 attacks of opportunity.
Oh, they're all around me right
Yeah,
now?
because they're ghosts. They can come out of the walls.
Got it. Okay, then that's probably not a good choice.
We'll say you can potentially, if you want to say you opened the door, that like you can use that to like push him in the room if you want, so that you have a little bit more space. If that works for you.
I'll push him in there and be like, stay there, and then I'll draw my sword. Oh, it's probably not going to do anything against these fools.
No, it's magic, so it would.
Okay.
It's a magical material, so.
Yes. All right, and I'm gonna attack a ghost.
Well, you've got wraiths and you got specters. Which ones would you like to attack first?
Which one looks scarier?
The wraiths.
Okay, then I'll attack some of the ghosts.
Okay.
Try to get them out. Clean clock them.
Sure.
Oh, boo. That's only an 11.
I think that's probably gonna miss. Let us see here. Specter. Damn it. Why is this not where it should be? Specter. Here we go. 11 will miss, yes.
Okay. And second attack?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 23.
That will hit.
Okay. Alright, so that is 10 slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 force damage. Nice.
Okay, alright. So, it's still alive. Or undead, I guess. But it's still corporeal. Or corporeal, rather, so it didn't seem to dissipate too much from that.
I'm gonna sing my fight song and give Odella a point of bardic inspiration.
Okay, there you go. You do that. Then it is Roswin's turn. Roswin really wanted to use Blight, but Ted's not going to do that to Katie. Because she was like, I want to use it on the big bad, and then you guys were like, let's negotiate.
Let's negotiate. That's our way.
Sorry, Roz.
And then
Can't be angsty today.
Nope.
Ice Storm. Nope. She's got a whole lot of nothing that's going to help against these guys. Flaming Sphere. Moonbeam.
Moonbeam would help?
Yeah, it's hard because like you'd have to center it on you guys, and you'd also take the damage. So it basically would be like, who dies first? What's the gamble on who takes more damage? Alright, so she's gonna try and hope for the best to drop a fairy fire on this area, although that will hit all of you guys. So I will need everybody to make dexterity saving throws.
17.
Good enough. What you got, Celeste? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, a 14?
Alright, so you're affected by it. Roswin saves. Wow, and all these guys, they all fail. So you basically watch as in a nice purple light, Leo and all of the ghosts are illuminated via fairy fire.
I like it this way.
So that is Roswin's turn. Now it's the bad guy's turn.
Oh man.
So they are going to. Oh boy. So let's see. So what is the specters? Just get the specters out of the way. So there are 4 of these guys. They're going to. Let's go 2 on Leo because they've got advantage, and a 1 on Odella, 1 on Roswin. So Roswin, that's a 9. Odella, oof, that's a 23.
Can I shield? No,
you can if that'll help.
No, it doesn't. I had to add, and it doesn't.
Okay. Oof. That is 14 points of necrotic damage. But you are resistant to necrotic damage?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So that's 7.
7 points. And I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Don't forget you have your bardic die if you want to use it.
Yes.
I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Good.
It's a D8 for the die.
Yep. I'm just reading all of my weird things because I know I have a couple things that are saving throw related.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember your what's it called thing, if you haven't used it already, is if you fail.
Yeah, I know.
2d4, so it only works if you fail.
I got a 5.
On the die?
From the die and the bardic inspiration.
Whoa.
And your Constitution? Really?
Oh, and my Constitution.
Plus, your Constitution save.
8.
Oof. What, sorcerers aren't proficient with Constitution saves?
Oh, ooh, yeah, they are. So that's 11.
Okay, so that's actually enough. Your maximum hit points is not.
Roll the 2d4 and just hope.
That your maximum hit points is not reduced by that amount of damage.
Oh.
But now 2 of them are attacking Leo with advantage.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
That's only a 14. Okay, they actually both miss with advantage.
Yes.
Then it's the Wraith's turn, though. And these guys, they be nasty.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear.
So, I'm going to ignore the part where they can make more specters. Because that's a thing they can do every turn. Oh, no, only when someone's dead.
Oh, okay.
So, we're good for now. So, they are going to... Yeah, they're going to attack Leo. Because he's glowing.
I'm shiny.
And they're significantly more intelligent than...
And they're intimidated by my beauty. And personality.
23. 23. So that's the highest of all. So the one misses entirely. This one gets a 23. $21 points of necrotic damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I am going to spend one of my luck reroll points.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't remember how many you have left, but...
So I have the luck feat.
Yes,
so
I just don't know how many you have left today.
So this is my 3rd one.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I still have a luck point from the viewers. Thank you. I love you.
That's for a reroll of a 1. So let's hope you don't have to use that.
I have a touch of luck and a luck reroll.
Okay, touch of luck is a reroll of a natural 1. I think you have a fate die, which is you could take advantage before you roll.
I have 2 fate die and I have 1 luck reroll.
Okay, yeah. So touch of luck and the luck reroll is the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 1 on the 16th and 1 on the 30th.
Yeah. So those they're just basically both just rerolls of natural 1s.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, that reroll is much better. That will be a 19.
Okay, yeah, your maximum hit points is not reduced by 21.
The first one was a 5.
Yeah, that would have done it. All right, that is their turn.
Oh,
Then
gross.
it is Odella's turn.
Okay, bonus action.
Yep.
I'm going to activate my Radiant Soul and
So
have
shiny.
my silvery gold wings emerge from my back.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right.
And then I am going to cast Guiding Bolt on the Wraith.
Okay. Just one or both?
What?
Just one, or are you going to twin it?
I'll twin it.
Okay.
I feel like we're almost out.
Maybe.
And I'm going to cast it at 2nd level.
Okay. Let's see. So 2 attack rolls. At advantage for both, because they're glowing.
So one's on the Wraith and the one's on one of the Spectres. Because
Yeah, there is 2 Wraiths, I will remind you. There's 2 Wraiths.
Oh, there's 2 Wraiths? Why do I keep messing up on these?
I heard the 2 wraiths.
Thank you. 2 Wraiths.
Gosh, I keep rolling and it keeps rolling off my table. Okay. So that's 18.
That will hit.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna roll for the other one too. That's a 17.
Yeah, both hit. So one of them will take an extra 8 radiant damage from your wings.
It says
Once per turn, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is every time. I can't remember.
I just wrote deal extra radiant damage equal to level, so
Yeah. Well, either way, roll your damage, your 5d6, and we'll do it to the first one for sure. And then I'll look it up in the meantime.
Ooh, wow, that's 16 for that, and then that's another 6, so that's 22.
22. Holy
Plus
shit.
the 8 is 25.
Yes.
Plus the 8 is 25?
Oh wait, no, plus 8 is 30.
30?
So
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's some
go
math.
to your level. I rolled a D8.
That's, alright, so Protector... During when you can deal extra damage to one target when you deal damage with an attack or spell.
Okay.
Once on each of your turns, yeah. So the first one takes...
That's fine.
So one takes 30 points. The other one's going to take something.
11. 10 is 21.
Okay, wow, still pretty good. Alright. So...
And that was my bonus action. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
And then I can't move anywhere, so...
Okay, so they are both lit up, but they're already lit up, so they have super advantage,
Yeah.
which doesn't do anything. But that's okay. They still took a sizable amount of damage. So then Leo...
The one thing that I know doesn't get halved, so...
Yeah, right, exactly. So,
What do we think psychic damage hits ghosts?
I have no idea. I mean,
Probably.
like sentient, so
Yeah.
probably.
it is your turn, Leo. So there are 2 wraiths. Basically, everything is still there.
Okay, I'm gonna finish off that ghost that I almost killed.
Okay.
That looks bad.
Yep, sure.
Okay, and I get advantage on these, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the natural 20 will do. I will take
Yeah,
that
of course.
to hit that. Mofo.
I don't even think you're going to need to roll unless you want to. You can, but it's only got 6 HP. So
First
you...
one is an 8.
That one goes back to
Go away.
dust.
And then I will hit the wraith that looks really damaged.
Okay. Yeah, so you have advantage on this as well.
Okay. Okay. Then I will take that to be an 18.
That'll hit.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that'll be 11 slashing and 4 force.
Okay, 15 points. It's still there, although it does look fairly... the wispiness of it, it's starting to discorporate a bit.
Cool. And
okay.
then I'm going to use my bonus action to do my second wind.
Sure. Get that
and
HP.
get some stuff back.
Okay, yeah.
That'll be all.
Cool. Then it is their turn. So there's only 3 wraiths, so that'll be 1 on each of you.
You mean 3 specters?
3 specters, rather. 16 misses Roswin. Does an 18 hit Odella?
Not if I shield.
Okay, then I'm assuming. So there you go. And then advantage on Leo. That's a natural 20.
No.
So that will be 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, you're lucky. This is garbage rolls. 1, 2, 3, 5, 11 points on 66.
Wow.
So 11.
I'm a lucky boy.
That is a total with the modifier of 14 points of necrotic damage. And I will need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Can do. Yeah. So that's 22.
Okay, yeah, so you're not reduced. And then it's race time. Race 19 misses. Misses. Alright, so both race miss you, Leo. Then it is... Oops, I skipped Roswin, but either way, it's Roswin's turn. So she's going to... What is she going to do? What can she do? Not a whole hell of a lot. Roswin is going to... Yeah, man. They have to, she hasn't really fought a lot of ghosts, but Ted has. So there's not a whole lot she has that's not resistant for ghosts.
Stupid ghosts.
They're seriously my least favorite enemy to face.
I hate ghosts.
In 5th edition.
I am afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah, you'd think someone like me would be more intrigued in fighting ghosts, but no, that is not the case. Alright, so she is going to, I guess, just try and club this thing with her stick here, because it has advantage. Well, that's a 19, so yeah, that'll hit. So she's going to hit the wraith that Leo's been wailing on and deal 5 plus... I think 11 points. Yeah, 11 points with her stick. So it does not look good at all. And she'll use a bonus action to throw, I guess, 3? Yeah, we'll throw 3 of the Fey energy heals to you, Leo. So you will get 11 HP back.
Awesome.
And you also have 3 temporary hit points. Okay, then it's Odella's turn.
How bad does Leo look?
I'm better-ish. I'm down 15. So I'm okay.
You're fine. I believe in you.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I can take a hit. I'm like, this is fine.
Then I am going to... So there's still 3 specters and 2 wraiths left.
Mm-hmm. The one wraith does not look very good.
But the other ones are still looking okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do first level though, and twin the guiding bolt at them.
Okay. Wraiths again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, and they both still do have advantage.
Okay. That is... Oh, it's advantage. That is 17.
Yep, that hits.
And that is 15 for the second one.
15 hits. Which one were you targeting first? The more damaged one or the less damaged one?
So for the... Probably the less damaged one, because I want to use my...
The extra points. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the damage for that one first.
No, I lost it. Okay. Roll that and fall on the floor. Oh, just add 8. Don't roll a d8. I'm so convinced to roll things. 27 for the one that's less damage.
Okay, great. And then the other one.
666. That is 18.
All right, yeah. So in a blast of radiant energy, this wraith is just discorporated completely.
Yay!
good. Very good.
And there is this one looks pretty bad as well. Then it's actually Leo's turn. So Leo, there are 3 specters and 1 fairly damaged wraith.
Okay, if the wraith looks super damaged, I'll go for that.
Okay.
Okay.
At advantage.
Yeah, baby. Okay, so 25.
Yep.
The first one. And then, I'm very grateful for these advantages right now. And then 17.
Yep, that'll hit too. So let's get the damage for the first one.
Okay. Alright, so that'll be 13 slashing.
So you actually take out the wraith in the first swing.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the specter, what you rolled was still enough to hit a specter, so go ahead and make the damage roll against the specter.
Man, these sweeping sword strikes. I love
Yeah,
it.
man.
I love it. Okay, so that'll be 11 slashing.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 force damage.
Okay, 15. Alright. Yeah, so you slash into one of the 3 remaining specters. It does not look like it's doing so hot either. Anything else?
Point of inspiration for Odella.
Yes, okay, Odella, you have inspiration again. Roswin is going to try to
That
boop.
you roll a d8 for.
That you do roll a
do.
d8 for. Roswin is going to boop the one that Leo just hit for 9 damage, and she's going to discorporate this ghost with her staff.
Yeah.
And that leaves 2 wraiths left.
Specters, Ted.
Specters, sorry, specters.
Right, you're scaring me every time you do
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. So the 2...
No.
The 2 specters are both just going to go for Leo, because the advantage, they still can't hit, but they're going to try.
Yeah.
It's just so shiny.
That is 19,
Beautiful.
14, 20, 23.
No.
That's almost as high as I could roll.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to take 7 points of... 7 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And make me a constitution saving throw, please.
Con save. Nice. 19.
Yep, you're good. So no hit point reduction either. Odella, it is your turn. There are 2 specters left.
I'm gonna. Do they look?
They're untouched.
They're untouched.
Yes.
Then, with my last sorcery point, I'm going to twin the guiding bolt.
Okay, they are both at advantage, so... I honestly think that was a pretty solid move, even though it hit Leo. The fairy fire.
No, I think it totally helped.
So that's an 18.
Yep.
I can take it. I'm a burly man.
And a 25.
Okay, so they both hit. So the first one is the 46 plus 8.
Okay, so that's 7, 11, 12, plus 8 is 20.
Okay, and you do have your inspiration if you want to add it at all.
I will. 24.
Alright, so you blast, this beam just destroys this one entirely. And then for the second one.
Hell yeah.
Ugh, that's low. 13.
13. Okay. So yeah, it's still up, but then it goes to Leo.
Whacking it.
Okay. At advantage.
Yep. Natural 20.
Oh, well, that'll probably do it then.
Whee!
So that's, what is that, 2d8, 2d6? That's pretty solid.
Yep, so that'll be 16 for the first one.
Yeah, you're fine. Gone. You just take that one out.
Okay.
Completely. And then you guys all notice that there is a loose brick in the wall next to the door.
Does it look trapped?
No.
Take it out.
You pull the brick out and you can see that there are runes behind the brick. Runes that you get the feeling probably were binding these spirits to protect this area.
Oh, then
that's
I
free. Yeah,
mar
free.
them
Destroy
so that they can.
You do so. They are marred. And then you can enter into this room.
Hell yeah.
So, bookshelves here have magical treatises and notes on divination that seem to have withstood the ravages of time. They detail all sorts of spellcasting practices from the ancient realm of Netheril. And let's see. Basically, you get the feeling that kind of the bulk of these books, if sold, would run you about 750 gold pieces for the majority of these books. And you do notice that one particular book, it's crumbling, but its title is Transubstantiality Across Potentialities, stuck between the bed and the wall. You get the feeling that this may be, because of its age, possibly the book you're looking for.
Yay.
You also see a silver ewer and 4 goblets next to the bed. And there is a chest as well. Yeah, a chest.
Okay. You want to check the chest for traps?
Yeah, I'll check it.
Guidance.
Thanks.
Get a +2.
So 13 plus 5 is 18.
Doesn't seem to be trapped.
Okay. Doesn't
Open
seem to
it
be
up.
trapped.
I
Okay.
will open it up.
Okay, you open it. As you open it, there is a slight rush of air as you realize that this chest was actually airtight.
Uh-oh.
And inside it is a set of silk robes that seem to have withstood the test of time, as this chest was indeed airtight, protecting it from decay. There are 7 silk robes. Each one would be worth about 50 gold pieces each. And there is also a ring set with an amethyst and 2 scrolls.
You think we should take this stuff, or are we gonna piss people off?
I think it's fine.
I think we should take it. Yeah.
Roswin says, I cast Detect Magic.
Oh, great. Thanks, Roswin.
And she will tell you that the scrolls are magic, the ring is magic, and the silver ewer and the 4 silver goblets are also magic.
Oh. What kind of magic?
The ring and the goblets are abjuration magic.
Cool. I love it.
So,
Let's take it all.
okay, you do.
I unfold my hole and put everything into it.
Okay, you do. Then then what do you do? I'm assuming you return your book?
I'm taking the other books, by the way, too.
Yeah, I figured, to sell.
Absolutely.
Or to put in our library, because I have a library in my office back in the Primp Pie.
Fair.
These
And we
are
have a
antiques.
giant telescope on top of our business.
Of course, why not?
So you end up, do you take the book back to Ilda?
Yes, we do.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you take the book back, and there is just a look that you have not seen upon her face, a look of pure joy as you return the book in this room of just empty bookshelves and nothingness. As you place this book in that room upon a bookshelf, she profusely thanks you, and then a look of serenity appears across her face as she just dissipates,
Aw. Leo feels really good about that.
having gone to the great beyond.
That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. All right, how's Verum doing?
He's very quiet
Love it.
because he hasn't been instructed. You haven't instructed him to speak.
Great. Does he look distressed?
He can't. That's not. Well, I mean, he just looks like looks like he's been beat to shit, and magically suggested to do whatever you say.
Okay. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy.
He doesn't say anything.
I think we should get out of here.
Yeah, let's jet before the Yuan-ti change their mind.
Okay, yeah, you guys leave. You make your way back through the way you came, following all the stuff you did. Yeah, and you're back outside of the temple, of the tomb.
Is
Where you
midnight still there?
Yes, midnight is still there.
Tied up outside, like, meh.
Yep.
I didn't trust you guys. I was like, where'd you leave my animal that I bought?
Yeah.
It's fine. I scritch his beak.
Sure.
Ears? I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Sweet. So we gotta. Do we have a way to? Oh, we have the sending stones. We should probably tell Leosin
Well,
that we have.
it's still been the same day. Yeah. So it's
We got the message.
yeah, same day you got the message. You guys didn't take a long rest or anything, so
Okay. We can
it's
do it tomorrow morning.
yeah.
Does Verum look any noticeably better after we leave? Like his soul has been returned to him, or was that an outrageous lie?
You don't know.
Okay.
No one thought to question.
I don't know. I don't know. What
I don't know what Yuan-ti do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fair.
Honestly, I didn't care if he had a soul or not either.
Yeah. Do you think we should get a little bit away from here and then try to find an alcove to like camp in, and then we can do our sending stones and get our nonsense back?
I mean, it is the desert, though. How long did it take us to get here?
A long freaking time.
Yeah, a couple days.
7 days, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, you could make your
go a little bit farther away from here. Yeah, find a spot, make camp, and
yeah.
Verum can ride all tied up on top of Midnight. We'll just lead Midnight along.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you guys are able to do that and ride a little ways away. Camp for the night. Take shifts accordingly. Keep an eye on Verum. Keep him tied up, and you guys are able to get a long rest and wake up the next morning.
Nice. That long rest has been a long time coming.
Yes, about 3 weeks, roughly.
So hurt.
3 game sessions, I should say.
Yeah.
And during the course of that rest, you can identify that the ring is a ring of poison resistance.
Oh, cool.
It is attunement.
Lame.
Will give you resistance to poison damage.
Man for that.
And you have 2 scrolls of protection from energy. I'm gonna say you can choose the energy type if you decide to activate them. And the silver ewer and the goblets are a unique thing. So if you pour something from the empty ewer, into a goblet, one of these silver goblets, a fuming green gas flows between the two into the cup. And any character who drinks from this fuming gas that doesn't even seem to be liquid, any creature who drinks from that receives advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage for 3 hours.
Oh.
Each of the goblets can be used to produce this effect once per 7 days.
And how many goblets do we have?
4.
This guy was really scared of poison.
I mean, there are a lot of Yuan-ti around.
Well, those are from Diderius, presumably, who died long before the Yuan-ti even got here, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but if what's his face was down there and told them to protect, like told them to, he probably went down there and found everything.
Got it.
So, what I will say, a couple things will happen. One, because I have some other stuff, and I don't want to do too much story-wise without Katie here. But basically, one, when Verum gets the long rest as well, he, comes more to his senses as the suggestion eventually leaves him. And he is totally compliant to be your prisoner.
Okay.
Mostly because he knows that his boss will kill him if he tries to return.
Okay. Well, I tell him we promise we will escort him safely to face do justice, which is.
And he's like, yeah, whatever. Severin would just murder me if I try, and I can't go back. Like, because if I try, he'll kill me. And basically what he'll tell you over the course of this is that, we can dive into this a little bit more next time into what actually he says about as far as, like, the cult's plans and hierarchy and things of that nature. Secret sympathizers and whatnot. But he will basically tell you guys that he lost, which you guys already know, that he lost the white dragon mask, and he went to use the pool to figure out what happened to it, and that essentially he found out where it was, and just want to make sure I don't. Yeah, basically he saw it in the pool. It's already been claimed by the Cult of the Dragon and has been reclaimed and is now at the Well of Dragons. So it has been joined with several other masks. Or it's not several other, but it's made its way to the ultimate final location, rather.
So it's beyond our reach, basically.
Correct. The cult has it again. And they have it.
Signing it out.
They have it where it needs to be. Yeah.
Crap.
They're preparing.
That's not
Correct.
good. That's not great.
And to cap all of this off, everybody gains a level.
Yay! Super duper.
Yes. So
Hell yeah.
that will put the party at level 9. So that is fun and exciting.
Warlock.
Third level fighter.
Are you going that route? I was curious where you were going to go with
I'm
Leo.
gonna do one more fighter to get some maneuvers that I want, just to make me give me more options, and then I'll start doing Bard again.
Yes, chat gains a level 2. Why not?
Yay, chat! Congratulations!
So yeah, and basically, I would say you guys make your way back to Waterdeep, but I think some stuff may happen on the way back to Waterdeep. So rather than sitting here and going through crazy amounts of random encounters, we'll have to see what I come up with for fun things that happen on the way back. So, yeah, I think that this is, a relatively decent. I mean, it's a little bit earlier than we normally run, but I don't think anybody will be too upset if we jump off a little early.
We are just so efficient.
Yeah, you just...
And diplomacy is the answer.
I like it.
Yeah. Had you guys gotten a little further, that basically would have happened anyway. If you make it to that final room, they'll basically do the same thing. Like, here he is, don't kill any more of our people, and you can go. Things you missed out on, not a whole lot. Those rubies were worth 1,000 gold each. The 4 in the statue. You missed the Yuan-ti hatchery, where all the babies in Yuan-ti were grown.
Are they cute?
No, they're little snakes.
No.
We didn't miss anything.
The scrolls that you missed was one of levitation and call lightning. Nothing too crazy. And you just missed a lot of coinage, basically. Coins and gemstones.
That's fine. We're not Tomb Raiders. We're here on the authority of Waterdeep. I hope they're proud of us.
Yeah. The pool, the dirty water pool that had the flushing system from the other side, that was the pool.
That was the pool?
That was the pool.
It was so gross.
Yeah. If you perform, and it is a sacrifice, so like a full-on...
I totally thought it was that pool, and then you guys were like, no.
Because it didn't have anything, ornate or anything.
It wasn't fancy at all.
I was like, but, it's got that fluffy thing. I'm totally think it's this pool.
Basically, what stuff that you guys didn't figure out is that because there's a mummy in the area, Diderius is a mummy, no food or water, like fresh food or fresh water, can be stored here without spoiling because of the effects of his mummy rot on the area. So that's why you needed to use the water from the well, because the well is safe, but after a little while it'll spoil. And part of the stuff, because nobody casts detect magic or anything, the Yuan-ti had a certain area that was just all magic because it was staving off the rotting effects so that they could have food. But yeah, due to Celeste's excellent prostrating and choices that she made, she protected the party from 10 mummy attacks and a mummy lord attack.
Nice.
So, there was a lot of options to just... And a mummy lord in their sarcophagus, in their lair is like a CR-16 or something like that.
Which would have killed us.
Yeah.
So, wow. That's horrible. That's horrifying
Yeah.
that you would do that.
And it's all because at the front, when he said, "Are you willing to ask for wisdom or knowledge?" you said either one of those options is the answer. Wisdom or knowledge. If you say literally anything else, he's just like, "You're a moron." In so many, in cryptic, ancient mummy tongue. But basically, yeah, you're an idiot. And then you don't get any of the hints throughout the rest of the adventure.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we got that.
And I forget, if you go through that front hallway where you guys, don't look in the eyes...
You can go insane, right? If you look
yeah, you can go temporarily. You basically get... If you don't hear that, you'll get suggested to look into their faces, and then you will go insane. So that's the thing. There's a handful of other stuff you just got to avoid entirely. So a Mummy Lord is a CR-15. There are the 6th level spellcaster, 6th level cleric. And then if they're in their lair, it makes them a CR-16.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Diderius.
Yeah. And do they have anything that's super nasty? I can't remember. But you can get Mummy Rot, which is never fun.
That would really put a crimp in my sex life.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's... I mean, he does have the spell Harm, which I think is 14d10 necrotic damage, something like that. So,
yeah,
he's got some pretty nasty options.
Taking the Pact of the Tome.
Okay. So 3 more cantrips.
Yeah, cantrips for a day.
Cantrips from any class. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm getting? Mending.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
It keeps coming up.
It's come up so much to the point where she's taking a class feature just to get it.
Just to get it.
But yeah, so I don't think you guys you did pretty well. The Dragon Tooth Dagger was a +1 dagger that does an extra d6 acid damage. So, funny enough, against enemies of the Cult of the Dragon, it's a +2 dagger that does an extra 2d6 acid damage. So, had you attacked yourselves, it would do extra damage, or,
So, that's the suicidal dagger.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you guys did pretty well, all things considered. You didn't fight the devils, which was cool. Which, I, in my playthrough, I didn't even I just murdered the devils. I just went right in and I was like, whoop, done. Didn't give them a chance to say anything, just went for them, killed them.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And I also had enough diamonds and was motivated enough that I murdered Verum to power the pool, and then resurrected him, and then murdered him again to ask another question, and resurrected him again so I could get 2 answers out of it. And at that point, he was basically just my bitch. He was just like, I died twice today. I've been through so much.
I could have done that, but
But that's not really Odella.
Hell.
So against what Odella's doing.
No.
Well, listen, OG Larenthier was a man on a mission.
Was Larenthier who did that?
Yeah, he was a man. He was a man on a mission. He had to. That Larenthier, that version of Larenthier, he had some serious mom issues that he needed to sort out, because he eventually found out that his mom was the Green Dragon Worm Speaker. So.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so he was not too happy when he figured that out. So he was like, "Where is she?"
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's not our style. So
No. But, ultimately, he didn't die. he was still there to answer questions in the end.
That's horrible. That's super evil.
It wasn't, because I knew that I could bring him back twice. So, it's fine. Agree to disagree.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with more of this. Hopefully with Katie back, and we can see what happens as the Belladonnas return to Waterdeep, and perhaps have a random encounter that I'll just pick rather than having them roll. And then see what happens when they convene with the Council of Waterdeep for a second time. Now, with one of the former Worm Speakers in tow for questioning, and see what happens. So, thank you again to all of the new followers who came out to check out the show. If you're watching on one of the other social media platforms, that's cool too. We like that. And I'll throw this link out one more time if you guys want to pick up Nerd Immersion merchandise, specifically Belladonna's merchandise, as we are playing Rise of Tiamat. You can do that. And without, I guess we'll have to see in case work decides to be a jerk tomorrow. But tomorrow we should be picking up with my homebrew campaign, and potentially one of the biggest character and roleplay decisions one of my players will ever make will go down tomorrow. And like, there's a thread of people from that game, not including that player, where we're like, what happened? Like, his role-playing is so good. What is going on? So you'll have to come see whether or not there's redemption or vengeance. We'll have to see. So, but before I close that out, Celeste, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, my name is Celeste Conowich. You can usually find me. I have a actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast where I am the dungeon master called Venture Maidens. So you can find that on iTunes or wherever podcasts are free. If you want to learn a little bit more about us, go to our website, theventuremaidens.com. Follow us on Twitter @VentureMaidens, or follow me personally @CConowich on Twitter. I love talking to you, and hope you enjoyed the game.
All right. And Laura, what about you?
I'm not nearly as cool as Celeste, but you can find me on Twitter, and I am always willing to chat, especially if it's about anything, because I like chatting. But I am @WinInRome on Twitter.
All right. And are you in Ewok Fuzzy Nuts?
Like, I'll talk about anything. I am, but like, I think next week I won't be there because I have a birthday party to go to, so I'm still...
Got it. All right, so we'll worry about that when it comes up.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be on the lookout for a bunch more YouTube content coming out. And Morning Kanan Tome of Foes official early launch is this coming Friday.
Yeah, on that note, too, if you want a super sneak peek, Venture Maidens was on the Podcast of Foes project, so we actually got the book ahead of time and launched an episode using some of the content in there, so you can find that on the Wizards of the Coast Dungeon Delve feed if you just cannot wait for more guidance to come out.
Yeah, I will be doing, as I did with Xanathar's Guide to Everything, extensive videos covering just about all the content in there. And then you'll get to watch me throw all those super high-level, really dangerous monsters at these guys and other people. So it'll be fun. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I mean, listen, we brought up Zariel, the archdemon of the first level, last time in this game, and she's in the book.
She's in the book.
CR 26, so we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye, everybody.
Bye.